Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Temitayo. In today's video, we are going to learn how to cut a simple kimono jacket with a chiffon fabric, but you can use any fabric of your choice. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back, and as a new subscriber, thanks for coming to this channel and subscribing to my channel. So guys, if you are interested in learning how I cut and make this kimono, come along with me and let's get started. So guys, I'll start by showing us a paper illustration. So guys, let's assume this is our fabric. You fold into two, then you later fold into another two, that is fold into four. We'll be cutting the front and the back together. So I used 2 yards of chiffon fabric and it's by 60. So I just folded it into 4 equal parts. I don't want any joining on the shoulder region, so I'm not going to cut through, but if you want a joining in yours, you can cut through, but mine, I am just going to leave it like that. The length of this kimono jacket is 35 inches, but you can make yours reach any length you want. And to determine the sleeve length, just put your tape measure on the center back and measure to your elbow or wrist. So it depends on how long you want it to be, but I prefer mine to reach the wrist. For my back neckline, I'll be using 4 inches for it, while I'll use 1 inch for the back neck depth. So guys, remember we are drafting the front and back pattern together. So after getting my back neckline, to get how deep my front neckline is going to be, I'm going to use my under bust measurement. So my under bust measurement is 15 inches. So I'll place my measurements from the starting point and mark that 15 inches, and I'll connect like so. So after connecting with a straight ruler, the next thing for us is to cut out. You can see that I drafted the front and back neckline together, but when cutting out, I'm first going to cut the back pattern. So let's cut. So after cutting the back neckline, I'll notch the mid center like so, and I'll open it up to remove the back from the front. I don't know whether you understand what I just did, but I'm going to explain, I'm going to demonstrate it. So this is how the fabric is after opening, and we already cut out the back neckline. So to cut out the front neckline, you have to open it up and remove the back pattern from it. Remember, we are not cutting through the shoulders, that is why we have to do it like that. So then I'll cut the front neckline. So after cutting the front neckline, I'm going to open up like so. You are going to open up only the front. Can you see what I just did? And if there's any sharp corner like so, just blend it and cut out. So by the time we open it up, this is what we have. Can you see the opening on the front? So for this front opening, you are just going to turn it with a bias tape round the neck. So it starts from one end to the other end. So after doing that, you are going to sew the sides together like so. To get the armhole, normally armholes are 8 to 9 inches, but because this is a free kimono jacket, I'll be using 12 inches for the armhole, and I'll just sew up the sides with 1 inch down. I'll do that to the second side too. Then for the hem, I'll fold in half of an inch twice and sew. So this is basically all we are going to do on our fabric. So I will advise you watch this to the end to understand more. So like I said earlier, this is a 2-yard chiffon print which is by 60. So I'll first fold into 2 equal parts and fold again, which means I folded the whole 2 yards into 4. Chiffon fabrics are always stressful to work with, so I advise you just use plenty pins to hold it down so it won't shake and disrupt your measurements. So after folding into 4, this is what we have. This is the folded part, and this is the upper part, which is also the shoulder. Remember, I am not cutting through my shoulders. And this is the side of the kimono jacket. So this is my starting point. Like I said earlier, if you like, you can open up your shoulder if you would want a joining there. But if you leave it like I did, there won't be any joining on the shoulder, which is okay. We are cutting both front and back together. So the neckline for the back is 4 inches in width. So I will just mark my 4 inches in width. And for the back depth, I will use 1 inch. And then I'll connect the neckline. The length of this kimono jacket is 35 inches. Your own could be floor length like 51 inches, 45 inches, like so, according to your preference. So to get the front neck depth, I'll be using my under bust measurement, which is 15 inches. So I'll mark 15 inches and connect a V neckline from the neck width on the shoulder line down to that 15 inches. As you can see, chiffon fabric can be messy when working with, so you have to be very careful when marking your measurements on it. Now I'll go ahead and cut the back neckline. Before cutting the front out, I will open it up. But before I open it up, to get the desired sleeve length, just measure from the center back to wherever you want your sleeve to reach. It could be your elbow or wrist like mine. So I use 30 inches with sewing allowance included. The fabric I'm using is by 60, so I'm not cutting anything out. So after opening up, I'll fold into 2 and get the center and I'll notch. After arranging, I will make sure the notches are touching. This is my back neckline and I can cut out the front neckline now, and I'll also open it up at the center front down to the hem. By the time you are done with all that, this is what you should have. You can see the front part is opened. So the next thing to do is to turn this front opening with a bias tape like I'm demonstrating. So I'll use a black matching color of bias tape. I'll be starting from one side of the hem, round the neckline, then to the other side of the hem. I'll sew it round with a bias tape. You will place the right side of the fabric and the right side of the bias tape together and join. Then later you turn it in to conceal the rough edges like I'm demonstrating. So guys, if you've learned one or two things from this kimono jacket sewing tutorial, please kindly like the video so that others can see it. Please kindly like, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell so you'll get notified when I drop new videos. Thank you. So for the sides, I'll make sure the hem is matching, and I'll notch the upper part of the shoulder so that the sides can be equal. I'll do this to both sides. And I'll measure 12 inches from my armhole. Remember, I said normally armholes are 8-9 inches, but because this is a free kimono jacket, I'll be using 12 inches. You can even use up to 14 inches for your armhole. So note that whatever you do for one side, you'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So I'll notch it and I'll close from that notch down to the hem, leaving these 12 inches as my armhole open. After sewing the sides, can you see the opening of the armhole? So for the armhole, cause I used 1 inch to join the sides, I'll just fold in half of an inch twice and sew on my sewing machine. I'll also repeat the same for the hem. I'll just fold in half of an inch twice and I'll sew it inside. So after all the sewing and the ironing, this is what I have here. So can you see the opening at the front? And this is the opening for the armhole. And this is the hem that I sew by folding half of an inch twice inside. So in other sense, that means the allowance that I have on the hem is 1 inch. In case you don't like the kimono jacket opening up too much at the front, you can use a press button. 1 or 2 is enough, so you can just use that. So guys, can you see the effect of the press button at the front? You can just use it to control yours if you like it. Thanks guys for watching this video and see you in my next video. Bye.